seeking Republican unity. Trump says, "I will fight for you." Cleveland completing his historic drive to the Republican presidential nomination. Donald Trump plans to tell the divided Republican Party Thursday that he will be a voice for average Americans who have been let down by government and that the elites who have run it for decades. So to every parent who dreams for their child, and every child who dreams for their future, I say these words to you tonight: I am with you. I will fight for you, and I will win for you. Trump plans to say, according to speech excerpts released by the campaign. In addition to promoting his own qualifications for the job, Trump will try to unite a convention in which the runner-up in the primary campaign refused to endorse him. Critical delegates staged a noisy floor fight over the rules, and a string of high-profile Republicans boycotted the entire event. Trump also plans to cite statistics saying that the United States has declined during the Obama administration when it comes to crime and violence, foreign policy problems, and a rise in the number of Americans who have stopped looking for work. Claiming he will make the United States safer and more prosperous, Trump plans to blame Democratic opponent Hillary Clinton for the nation's ills, and say that the problems we face now, poverty and violence at home, war and destruction abroad, will last only as long as we continue relying on the same politicians who created them. Trump also plans to promote the slogan "American First," and argue that other nations are stealing jobs from the United States and no longer respect it as a great power. In a purported draft of the speech obtained by the anti-Trump organization Correct the Record, Trump plans to tell Republican delegates that he is a messenger for change right now and that "I am your voice." As Trump put the final touches on his speech and did a walkthrough of the stage setup, the Republican nominee took to Twitter to proclaim the convention a success. Other than a small group of people who have suffered massive and embarrassing losses, the party is very united, Trump said. "Great love in the arena!" Trump will be introduced Thursday night by daughter Ivanka. As with other speakers throughout the week, Trump is expected to seek Republican unity by going after Clinton. His indictment of his Democratic opponent is likely to include the 2012 terrorist attack in Benghazi, Libya, that killed 4 Americans, and her use of a private email server while at the State Department that triggered an FBI investigation over the handling of classified information. Republican delegates have attacked Clinton in extraordinary ways this week, including calls to lock her up! The GOP nominee is also expected to echo many of his campaign themes, including his vow to change bad trade deals that undermine U.S. manufacturing and his pledge to build an anti-immigration wall along the US-Mexico border. Trump prepared for his big night amid another flap over his commitment to U.S. military alliances, including NATO. When the New York Times asked the candidate about the prospect of a Russian attack on NATO allies in the Baltic states, Trump said he would authorize help only after deciding whether those countries have fulfilled their obligations to us. Republicans who have questioned Trump's grasp of foreign policy reacted with indignation. Senator Lindsey Graham, R.S.C., said Trump is essentially telling Russians/other bad actors that the United States is not fully committed to supporting NATO alliance. NATO chief Jens Stoltenberg told the AFP wire service that, "While I will not interfere in the U.S. election campaign, he would say that solidarity among allies is a key value for NATO. This is good for European security and good for U.S. security." Trump's convention ends the day after a former primary rival, Senator Ted Cruz of Texas, pointedly refused to endorse the party's nominee during his convention speech, inciting a chorus of boos and catcalls from pro-Trump delegates. Cruz stuck to his non-endorsement Thursday, reminding a meeting of the Texas delegation that Trump has criticized his wife's looks and all but accused his father of participating in a plot to assassinate President John F. Kennedy. "I wasn't going to come like the servile puppy dog and say thank you very much for maligning my wife and father," Cruz told angry pro-Trump delegates from the Lone Star State. Trump himself weighed in on Twitter, saying party division will only help elect Clinton so that she can remake the Supreme Court. Ted Cruz talks about the Constitution but doesn't say that if the Dems win the presidency, the new justices appointed will destroy us all! On Monday, the convention's opening day, a group of anti-Trump delegates that included Cruz backers tried to force a roll call on convention rules in a bid to force an open convention in which they could vote for any candidate they wanted. When GOP leaders blocked that effort, the anti-Trump delegates staged a noisy protest on the floor. As Trump prepared to close out the convention on Thursday, his remarks have been vetted via software that ferrets out plagiarism, seeking to avoid the kinds of problems that followed wife Melania Trump's speech on Monday. During his walkthrough at the Quicken Loans Arena, Trump tested the sound system by mocking another likely target of tonight's speech, the media. "I love the media," Trump joked. "They're so honest. They're such honorable people.